right? So you've got some AI-enabled workflow. It's important, and this is trying to summarize a lot of what we talked about. It's important to think about like what is the AI influencing? So there might be a long workflow and it just touches one part of it, right? So let's look at the entire workflow. Where are AI systems impacting the workflow? Maybe at branch points or providing inputs into it. What can go wrong? And what do you want the human to do, right? So, and the what can go wrong is this risk assessment, which is how bad can it be? How, is this thing reversible? And then you can figure out, am I going to review it? Am I going to monitor? Am I going to, be a blocker is the human going to be a blocker in the path? And then where should they intervene in it? So now what you've done is you've said, okay, here's the workflow. Here's, sort of where we should be in this human in, on, or out of the loop, or the spectrum that's defined by that. Once you know that, you can define what the human role should be. And given that the human needs to sort of look at what the AI is doing at this point in the workflow, here's where they're going to intervene. Then you can say, all right, if the human is going to intervene, they have to be able to make an informed judgment. And so we're going to pack up the evidence. So what evidence do we need to hand to the human who is going to intervene at that point in this workflow to mitigate the following risk? And then importantly, you want to capture that feedback, as we just said, I think 2 slides ago, capture the feedback and then feed that back into the system in whatever way is appropriate for the way the system is structured. And then now you've got this sort of virtuous cycle, right? And so in theory, what happens is over time, the human, their involvement is invoked less often. Okay. So let's just couple of really simple example workflows, two, and then we're on to concluding remarks. So customer support. You got a customer complaining about the widget they bought. It arrived broken. So the AI might go, all right, I'm going to write an email and I'm going to recommend that we refund them. Or this customer is always returning stuff, like they just need to let the customer eat it. The human then can go, okay, well, are there sort of like serious complaints here? Are they asking for refunds? Maybe this is an expensive widget, and we want to make sure that we're refunding the money appropriately. Or if they're threatening legal action, right? So the human is going to do that kind of thing. Again, routing, if it's low risk, then we can just like let the human sample from them or just auto respond, or high risk cases are going to be reviewed. And then the feedback is going to be what edits were made, what were the reason codes, and then also importantly, are we seeing patterns in that? Or is like the AI system is always screwing up widget A but not widget B responses. And the value that you get is you get faster responses, right? So you're sort of automating the ones that you can, and then you get this kind of like nice consistent tone, and the risk is reduced. On document extraction or information extraction and compliance, again, law firms all over the place are doing exactly this kind of thing. You might get a contract, for example. I'm going to extract clauses and obligations and entities, like who are the parties that are involved, and what exceptions are built into it. So the human could then go, oh, okay, well, it looks like you have low confidence on I don't know, the name of the party that you're entering into the agreement with. Or there's a clause here that says, here's what happens in this circumstance, and that circumstance might happen. We need to really pay attention to that. So, if there's missing information, conflicting evidence, the human can review. And then these corrections become this golden data set, right? So now what we've got is we've got a contract and we've got exactly the right information that should be extracted from it. Those can be used as in-context examples for language models or a variety of other things. And here, again, you get faster throughput, right? Through time, you get the human intervening less, and things move more quickly, and you get fewer silent errors, right? And so silent errors are killers, because if the human's not reviewing and you get errors that are coming out, I thought it was party A and party B, but it's actually party A and party C that are involved in the contract. Somebody downstream discovers that, then they start not trusting the output of the system, and then you've wasted your investment, right? Okay, so what are the concluding thoughts? Claim that having humans in the loop is going to create reliability, right? So remember the sort of the gap that we show. We've got capability and we've got sort of a AI, or sort of AI adoption, and then AI like production capability on the other side. You need both. And so, I would say human in the loop is it's a decision architecture. It's not like manual cleanup, right? It's part of the loop. There's a thing going on there, and you want to inject humans at the right places. And where should you use humans? That's where their judgment is important, where there's risk, where there's uncertainty, or where you can learn by correcting mistakes. And the best human in the loop systems are going to improve speed and trust at the same time, right? So, speed, sorry, trust primarily, right? Because if you have a human out of the loop system that is making mistakes and your customers are getting bad bills because the AI system is making errors, your customers are going to get angry, and then you're going to pull that AI system. So it's got to be trustworthy. But then, because of the learning component, things can get better through time.